Well, hello hyperspace, my name is Davontos and it's time to get hyped because this is Total Mayhem, a new game, not really a new game mode, but a game mode that Blizzard added to Overwatch come the anniversary event. Now this game mode is insane. It's basically playing your regular game modes, escort the payload, defend Hanamura and so on, but there's a little twist. In this game mode, you have 200% more health, which means Orisa's going to be running around with 800 health, and somebody as squishy as Zenyatta is now going to be running around with 400. Don't get me started on Hog at 1200 alongside Diva. That's not the only thing they changed in this game mode. They also have 150% ultimate gain, which means you're spamming ultimates like no tomorrow. And finally, you have a 75% increase in your ability cooldowns, which means Roadhog's Take a Breather can be basically spammed every 2.5 seconds, making Roadhog kind of indestructible. And it's basically the same thing for Orisa as you see here. You can spam the Fortify, you can spam her little gravity ball, and spam her barriers. The barriers also get that 200% health increase. And she is just insane. This game mode is very, very fun. Of course, it's completely unbalanced. Sombra, Orisa, Winston, Tracer, they're all broken. But this game mode is just really, really fun, and I'm glad they added it for this anniversary event. It brings a lot of players together, just shoot everybody and have a good time with your friends. Who cares if you win or lose? You're still going to get a whole bunch of XP, specifically because you're just landing a lot of hit markers. You might not get a lot of kills in this game mode because it's so hard to kill anybody, but because you're getting so many hit markers on the target, by the end of the game, you are getting a ton of XP, which means some more loot boxes. So I'm kind of hoping maybe this game mode can stay. I know they couldn't really keep the Uprising event and probably Junkenstein's Revenge because those were, holiday specific, but because it's Overwatch's anniversary and they gave us like Reaper's Shrug emote and some other taunts and so on to stay in the game forever, maybe Total Mayhem will be a game mode that also stays here forever. I mean, it doesn't really signify anything, no Omnic Wars, no Halloween event, it's just a fun little thing they added. So I'm really, really hoping they keep this in the game, forever. And that's not the only thing I want to come. I don't have any footage of this, but they changed up the way the 1-on-1s and 3v3s play. Now, if you guys remember the 1-on-1s and 3v3s, specifically the 3v3s, it was only in Eco Point Antarctica. And what would happen is, let's say you have a Soldier 76 versus a Roadhog, all the other teammates are dead. Once it becomes the last 60 seconds in the match, you would see your opponent on the other side of the map, and you could never catch him because they would always hide, and then it would end up to be a draw. Either Roadhog hides and takes his breather, or 76 takes too much damage, he sprints away, and he just drops his biotic field, and, well, nobody wins, and then 60 seconds expires, it's a draw, and you go on to the next round like if nothing happened. Well, they fixed that in both the 1-on-1s and the 3v3s, so how it works now is on the 1-on-1s and 3v3s, when it's the last 60 seconds, a point, like a capture point, is going to appear somewhere on the map, usually in the center. And you have 30 seconds to get to that point. If you don't, the point will activate, and the game will not end until either somebody dies or somebody captures the point, and that point fills up fast. So basically whoever is on the point by the time that 30-second countdown expires kinda wins the game. It's so fast to a point where, okay, 76's Tactical Visor, you know how fast that kills regular characters like McCree, 200 health character? Well, the point fills up faster that McCree can actually capture the point before he's killed by 76's biotic rifle. So it kind of forces the other players to actually kill each other or get onto the point, basically eliminating any factors of, making a draw. And I feel like that's really, really interesting. And that's not the only thing they changed for the 1-on-1s and 3v3s. On the 1-on-1s, they're going to give you a set of 3 random heroes. It used to be like they give you, Genji versus Genji, or maybe like, Sombra versus Sombra. It's not like that anymore. What they do is they give you 3 random heroes to choose from, and it can be, let's say, Genji, Pharah, and maybe Ana. And the enemy has the same 3 choices. So you take one of those 3 characters, and so does the enemy. And the 1-on-1s can actually be Genji versus Pharah, or maybe Ana versus Genji, and that's how the 1-on-1s play, alongside that capture point that appears in the center of the map come over time. And then with the 3v3s become very, very interesting. How this 3v3 works is, you take, well, obviously a team of 3 versus an enemy team of 3. If you guys win that round, the heroes you have selected become unavailable. Meaning if you have a Roadhog, a Mei, and let's say a Zenyatta, and you guys beat the enemies, for the next round, Roadhog, Mei, and Zenyatta cannot be chosen. And it is really, really interesting because it makes you think, you know, should I save the overpowered Roadhog for last? Or do I take him now because I don't want the enemies to make a comeback? And it's just very, very strategic, and you actually have to use a bit of communication from time to time. You know, sometimes you got to put on your mic and say, hey, don't take May yet. Let's save May for our last resort just in case, but we can use Roadhog now, and so on. And because the heroes cannot be taken on the next round, I highly advise you select a healer, because a lot of people never really took healers in these 3v3s. Occasionally would find a Mercy, and very rarely a Zen and Ana. But with this new hero elimination thing, you know, you can't take the same person twice and so on. I feel like healers are very, very powerful in this, because you keep the team alive, basically it kind of limits your team for their selections, but as long as you have a healer, you're still going to be doing good. Now, if you lose the 3v3, the heroes you selected are still available. So again, if you take Roadhog, May, and Zen, and let's say you lose in the next round, you can still take Roadhog, May, and Zen. Really, really interesting, and I highly suggest you guys play, because it's a huge change, and just this elimination of the draw factor it's awesome! I also want to include that this event will end on June 12th, so make sure you make all of your purchases using your loot coins on June 11th, because we never know what time it's going to end. It's going to end at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so, you know, just to be on the safe side, make all of the purchases at June 11 for any items you didn't get in the loot box. And that's not the only thing I want to cover about Overwatch. Hanzo actually had a buff. If anybody doesn't know, he now draws his bow back, you know, meaning getting ready to fire his arrow. He draws it back 10% faster, and it is noticeable. Hanzo is kind of dangerous now. Before, when you see Widowmakers, you know, he would snap onto your head and then just, you know, one-shot you, maybe two-shot you if you have a tank. But with Roadhog, with Hanzo now, he's gonna be spamming you with arrows, and I use quite a bit of Hanzo, and he's not useless anymore. He is dangerous. He can spam those headshots really quickly, and get that his headshots do, I believe, 300 damage. So he can two-shot Roadhog really quick. And also Reaper got a buff. Now with Reaper, when you enter Wraith mode, back in the day, you would, you know, shoot your shotguns, and then you would enter Wraith mode to retreat, and then when you come back into human form, you had to reload. How they changed Reaper now is you can shoot your shotguns, you'd have, let's say, like 1 bullet left. The instant you enter Wraith mode, it instantly reloads your guns, giving you a fighting chance. Now, I say this because a lot of players used to go into Wraith mode to use as a retreat. So when they would be retreating, you know, obviously whoever was shooting at them would follow Reaper's Wraith mode because it moves so slow. And when Reaper would get back into human form, he still had to reload, leaving him wide open, allowing the enemy to finish him off. Now because he reloads, it kind of gives him a fighting chance when he's back into human form. I still think Reaper needs a buff. This isn't enough for Reaper, and I've been using Reaper. I got a really good gameplay for Reaper, but I feel like it's not quite enough. I feel like, they should treat Reaper like how they treat May. You know, when May goes into her ice block, she heals up. I feel like if Reaper goes into his Wraith form, he should heal up, but he shouldn't heal as much as May. When May goes into her ice block, she heals 150 health. I feel like Reaper's spirit mode should be maybe 100. And I say this because he has those, you know, those spirits to collect over the dead bodies, but not everybody drops those spirits for him to collect. Either that, or I feel like when he enters Wraith mode, he should move much faster, just like Sombra does when she enters, you know, her invisibility. You know, she just sprints. If you actually pay attention, Sombra sprints faster than 76 when she's invisible. I feel like Reaper should at least move as fast as 76 when he's in Wraith mode, allowing the player to actually, you know, make a successful retreat without having worry to be, you know, tailed upon by a diva who can quickly fly to you and, you know, take you out before you have time to react. So, I feel like Reaper is doing better. He's not as useless as he was before. He's still kind of fitting into a couple of metas, but he still needs a lot of work to be done on him. He's not quite there yet. And Orisa actually had both a buff and a nerf. So with Orisa, her gun had a nerf. Her gun is weaker. Before, her bullets used to do just as much as Bastion with 12 damage per bullet. Now they dropped it down to, I think, 8, which is fine because she's more of a defensive hero and she can't be giving that much DPS. And her buff was to her barrier. Now her barrier still has 900 health, however, they changed the cooldown. Originally the barrier's cooldown was at 12 seconds, they lowered it down to 8, so her gun got a nerf, her barrier got a buff. And this slight change to Orisa is actually really effective. I use a lot of Orisa, and I've been using a lot of Orisa since launch, and I did feel like she needed a little buff, and just this minor tweak that Blizzard did to her really helps out. I feel like Orisa is right where she needs to be. Perfect anchor tank. She's more of an anchor tank for those choke areas. She's not as, anchor-y as Reinhardt, but she's still very powerful in a lot of choke areas. So, if you like this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at DavantosMan. And as always, I'll see all of you in the next video. And remember, make all of your purchases using your loot coins on June 11, because the event will end on June 12. Have a nice day.